Now let's take a look at LDAP security domain, how to configure that. Just like the database security domain, we have the security domain tag. You can specify an arbitrary name, here in this case LDAP domain. Part of the authentication tag, we have the login module, code LDAP. Now here code LDAP, this is actually an alias that we use as we discussed earlier. Let's take a look at what that resolved to. So here's the LDAP code, or the alias that we're using here, that actually resolved to this JAS-based security authentication module. And for LDAP, we have other login modules also available, LDAP extended, depending on how you want to configure your LDAP and how you want to authenticate to the LDAP. We have the various login modules. We also have an advanced LDAP and advanced AD LDAP for the Microsoft Active Directory. So you can use those to talk to any other authentication system based on LDAP. Any LDAP authentication system you can able to communicate with using one of these authentication modules. Let's take a look at the configuration file for the LDAP. This is part of Lab 2. You will end up configuring this security domain JB248 LDAP, login module LDAP, which is an alias here, and based on the login modules that we are using, you'll end up having these module options. So the important here, the Java enabling provider URL, as you can notice here, which is pointing to a LDAP that is sitting on the instructor machine, instructor host, using the LDAP protocol host name and 389 port, which is the default LDAP port. And how to actually identify the user, unique user in the LDAP itself, using the principal DN prefix, which is using the UID attribute, and where all these users are located, under which container or suffix, principal DN suffix, under OU people, DC Red Hat, DC comp. OU stand for organizational unit, DC stand for domain component. This is actually some of the attributes of LDAPs. And then where the roles are located, under which container or suffix, or use roles. And then how to actually identify the member if they belong to a particular role, using the member attribute. And then here how to actually uniquely identify each role, just like the UID here for users. For roles, there's a CN common name actually being used. Now let's take a look at another part of security settings here, which is for the messaging. That's the next section in your course material. For messaging itself, we talked about security settings. So here, security setting pattern # here, that means any queues and any topics. You can able to configure which roles-based user can able to send messages, which roles-based user can able to consume messages, and which role-based user can able to create a non-durable queue and delete a non-durable queue. So here, for example, I want to add another role-based user can able to create a non-durable queue. I can do an admin here. I can able to specify multiple roles that are available. I can configure them. So this is another section that we talk about also here. So security settings also will be applicable. So you can pretty much not only just the application part of the web XML, the security role tag for defining the roles, protecting your application components. Here, part of the messaging system, the messaging systems, queues and topics can also be protected. As you can see here, we have some of the queues and topics here that we define part of the labs, the JMS queue, my queue, simple topics. And if you want to protect them, we can actually use the security settings here. So that concludes the lecture of security domain.